The dealer's den has come to life and people are flooding in with their worldly possessions.
Hi, Anne.
Taking a pew with Corrie Jeffrey is Anne, who has a price in mind for her mystery object.
I think I wouldn't accept anything less than 400.
I'm prepared to pay 450 to 500 for this.
It looks like David and auctioneer Max Blackmore are also intrigued. So let's see what all the fuss is about.
It's a box. Well, you know what we've got to do with a box? Open the box. Oh my goodness. It's lovely.
It's spectacular.
It is. It's spectacular. Tell me about it.
I was left it by my mother, who got it from an old gentleman she was nursing, not officially, but it was his wife's pendant, and she left it to my mother in thanks. And I wore it as a young lady, but since I've got older, I can't carry it off anymore, and so I think I'd like to sell it.
So where did you wear it?
I wore it in the 60s in London when I was a young fashion designer on a gold long chain, and I enjoyed wearing it.
You were a fashion designer in the 60s in
Yes,
London?
yeah.
Wow. Well, listen, let's have a look at it. I think these are some kind of quartz. It's like a smoked quartz of some description. But these arms are stones, cut stones, and it's not marked anywhere, but it's pretty surely 15 or 18 karat gold, and beautifully assembled.
The workmanship is lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely lovely. These little decorative bolts, and lovely, lovely creamy pearls, which contrast so nicely with the topaz. This is such a lovely, typical piece of second half of the 19th century Gothic revival jewellery.
Really?
Very, very smart. No maker on the box and no marks on it, but a very, very well-made piece of jewellery. 1860 to 1880, I would put it at.
Yes.
Could be a touch earlier. Interesting enough, crosses are not that popular. They're not that easy to sell. Every so often there's a revival, but crosses are, in general, not people's favourite piece of jewellery, but I love them. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
I think they should sell well.
Well, Max, a charming piece of Victorian jewellery.
A showy piece, isn't it?
Very.
You know, and attractive piece of jewellery as well as a cross, I think. You know, it's a nice design. It takes the light well, doesn't it?
What about the metal? Is it gold?
We don't know without testing it, certainly, but I would think for that quality of piece, very surprised if it wasn't gold.
When have you placed your estimation?
We went in at 350 to 500, which I think, as an auction price, is realistic.
I agree with that. Let's see what Corrie puts on the table.
Okay, let's put 50, 100, 150, 200, 250.
I think it's worth a little bit more than that.
Oh, I hear you've got some help.
Now, before you say anything, first of all, I'm going to take a little bit of exception. Corrie says she doesn't feel this is fashionable at the moment, this kind of Gothic type of... I think it is. You know, if you were in London and went down Old Bond Street and you had to buy that, well, they'd ask you a pretty penny. £300 to £500 is where the independent valuers are. I think that's a seller.
If it went to Bond Street, it would go to a good home, wouldn't it?
This is true. So let's put some more money on the table. So we're going to put 350, 400.
Yeah. Would you be prepared to offer a little bit more?
It's your lucky day. I haven't got any fives, so I'm going to put 420, 440 on the table. So you now, we've got 440 on the table.
I think what's happened now is Corrie, I respect Corrie, she's a great dealer, and she's come right to the ballpark. And I'm going to say, accept that. I believe it's worth more, but I'm a little nervous to put you to the auction. You would need to get more than 500 to make it worthwhile. So, I think the 440 is a good offer.
I think that's a very fair
And
deal.
we've got to allow Corrie to make a few quid, so I think that's a winner.
I think it's very fair enough.
So we have a deal.
We do.
Thank you very much for bringing us along. I love it.
They're shaking hands. They've done a deal at £440. Is that a good price?
I think it's a fair price, to be honest with you.
You never know. There is always a chance the right person in the auction may have given a little bit more.
So Corrie and Anne were singing from the same hymn sheet, and Anne got £40 more than she was expecting. Now, first to see James' late is Michael. Let's see if he has the bottle to hold out for as good a deal.
I bought the items a few years ago from a car boot sale. I know how much I paid for them, and I think they're quite an interesting lot. So I'm really interested to see how much they go for.
Well, you brought along some, what looks to me like 1950s pottery.
Yeah.
But you'll have to tell me the rest.
Well, as far as I know, it's by Marcello Fantoni.
Okay. Is it signed anywhere?
Yes, just there at the side.
Okay. I have to say, I've never seen anything like it. Covered in leather or not, quite frankly.
But, I mean, the thing I like about it is the design on the front, which is quite reminiscent of Picasso.
Yeah, in a way, it is, I agree, yeah.
Abstract.
I mean, they're quite kind of 50s. This is a very 50s shape, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm slightly in the dark about this. I mean, I quite like it. I have to say, it's not my period.
It's quite
I prefer
unusual.
old things. It is unusual. It's quite striking design. And I don't suppose you're going to tell me what you paid for it?
Not just yet.
No, so I can offer you a little profit.
Possibly, yeah.
I've no idea, to be honest, what it's worth. So my bid is going to be a shot in the dark.
Okay.
50. £70.
I think you're quite a bit off there,
I'm
James.
off.
Yes.
I'm off.
Yes.
Okay. But it's a good profit, isn't it? I can tell by your eyes that you're into
Yes,
profit
but I've
already.
also done a bit of research on it, and I know roughly how much it is worth.
Okay. Well, I'll dip in my pocket again and put another 20 down. So that's £90.
Still quite a bit short there, James, I'm afraid.
Oh, a bit short.
Interesting. Now, I didn't know this name, it didn't ring any bells, and I've just run back to the auctioneer and said, what do we know about this man? Quite a popular Italian designer, ceramic designer. The two estimations are 50 to 90 from the independent valuers. Now, the auctioneer, he's more keen. He's saying 1 to 200. This man has a track record. He's quite well known.
Not to me, though.
Not to you. I would suggest he probably is worth a bit over the 100. But if you want to gamble and go to auction, maybe that's the best place.
Well, I think David knows as much about this design as I do. But I'll try again. I'll put another 20 down. So that's 110, which means you've got to make 150 or so in the auction to get 110.
Really, I wanted about 40 more.
40 more.
I mean, I'm bearing in mind what David said as well.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I won't give you another 40, but I will put another one of those down. So another 20. So that's 130. And I think that's probably where I'm going to stop. Because I think that allows me a little profit if I'm lucky.
Okay, James, I think we have a deal.
We've got a deal. Great. So what did you pay for it?
£3.
I'm not going to make that sort of money, but I do quite like it. As I sat there, it grew on me. So I'm really quite pleased with it. Good old Michael, eh?
I can't grumble at £127 profit.
Well played, Michael. You got every last drop out of James. Over on Debbie's table, Anna's brought in a small portable case that usually holds sewing kits or toiletries, but this one appears to be more masculine.
Very interesting, circa 1800 etui. I'd quite like to buy it. We'll see what the expectation of the seller is.
I inherited it a good few years ago now. I know it's an instrument case, and that's really all I know about it.
Right.
I just thought I'd bring it along today and just get some more information on it and see if you'd like to buy it.
Right. Well, generally, they have a generic term called etuis, and an etui is basically a box that carries other things. It's quite early. It dates back to about 1800, that sort of time. I've seen them either made of bone or sometimes the very grand ones are ivory. It's quite a utility piece. It's certainly been made for travelling with, so in the days when people took off and had to take everything with them, this would have been a set probably carried by a military or a naval person. I like it very much. I have doubts that this little ruler originated in the box, because I would have said that could well have been ivory or bone originally.
What, the original one?
Yeah. So I'm not sure whether that's just been slipped in there, but the rest of the instruments are all right. They're a bit in need of a wire brush or two and brightening up, but that's not too much of a problem. Do you know what the outside of the case is made of?
No.
It's called shagreen, which is a shark skin. The other
Quite
thing,
tough looking, isn't it?
it is. It's remarkably hard wearing. I mean, this may well at some point have got a bit damp because it's got a bit of a wave to it.
Yeah.
And more often than not, you see them in a very bright green, and this is quite a dull grey green.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with one of these. £50.
No.
It's a very definite no. £70.
Definitely not.
No. £80.
Nope.
Oh, I'm playing hard to get now. 85.
Not even scratching the surface there.
Really? So if I change the 10 and the 5, £90.
Nope.
No? 100.
Nope.
I think I'm out. I take it you don't want to take my 100.
No, I'd rather take it to auction.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thanks,
I think
Debbie.
you will do well.
Thanks very
Good luck,
much.
Anne.
Thank you. I think it's worth a day out of the auction at least. You know, if we just get another £10, £20, I'll be happy.
A nice collector's item. I'd be surprised if this doesn't sell for 200 plus. £20 for those.
Ooh, lots of optimism about.
£20 now.
Let's see how the etui measures up at auction.
The reserve is £180. Now, I think it's well worth that. If you sell this, any idea what you're going to do with the money?
My daughter's getting married in May next year.
You can never have enough money when daughters start getting married. OK. So this could go into the kitty if it was sold. Let's see what happens.
The next lot is 305, and it's this possibly late 18th, possibly early 19th century shagreen-covered etui. It's an unusual item, this one. Commission interest here.
There is commission interest, which means deals have passed through the sale room, seen it and left a bid.
At £100. Any further bids in the room? 10, 20, 130, 40, 140 with me, 150, 160, 160, 170, 180.
We're at 180.
180, 190. Commission's out. We're on the net now at 190. The room's out by the look of it. Selling then at 190.
OK, £190. There is, of course, a little bit of commission.
Yeah.
I make that just a bit under £156. Now tell me.
Happy.
Happy?
Happy, yeah, very happy.
Gonna go into the kitty for the wedding?
Yes.
OK. On the day, it was a good lot, and it wouldn't have surprised me had it have gone for a lot more money.
Have you had it long?
I've had it for about 20 years.
And why are you here today with it?
Because it's stuck up in a wardrobe and it's not getting any use.
So did you buy her in a shop or?
I bought her at car boot.
It's ready as a car boot. OK, and do you know anything about her?
I know she's French, 1920s.
Well, I think she's lovely. If we turn her upside down, you can see where the lamp fitting goes in. That comes out, and the wire goes through the hole in the back. And I suppose, have you ever had her lit?
No, I haven't, no.
I assume she just sort of glows gently. She appears to be in perfect order, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. Love the colour. Love the colour. She's got marks on the base where she says Roby Paris made in France. Right. OK. Suppose you want some money for her. Start with £100. How are we doing? Start.
No.
Well, it's a good start, though.
It's a good start, yeah.
150.
Get in there.
170. Pretty colours.
No, not yet.
So where do you want to be?
A bit more than that.
We swap that for that. So you're now up to £200. What do you think?
Is that your final offer?
I think I'm going to stick with my 200.
Now, just before you answer that, let me just tell you what the independent valuers, what the auctioneers think and what I think. 150 to 200 is one estimation, 2 to 3 is the other. I have to tell you the 2 to 3 I think is being adventurous. I think at £200 it's honest, it's fair, it's a strong offer, and my advice is this: never look a gift horse in the mouth, take your money and then let Jo either sell it or maybe keep it for the night she goes out in Newcastle.
So, you've heard David's advice.
I think we've got a deal.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thanks
you.
for bringing it in. And now you can tell me what you paid for it.
I paid £1.50.
Oh, done, girl.
Well done indeed, Jane. That's a pretty spectacular profit.
I know she wanted it. I pushed her all the way, and I'm happy.
Across the room, Leslie's brought in a carriage clock on behalf of her mum. But how much is she hoping for?
Between 100 and 150. Hopefully 150.
Tony Gearing can't wait to get a closer look.
I'm a little bit excited. It's in its box. I think I noticed that it's got curved glass, which is quite unusual, so hopefully it's a really good maker.
Well, let's see if Leslie gets what she wants for her mum.
And what have you brought in for me today?
Yeah, it belonged to my grandma.
Ah,
Still in its case.
let's have a look here, shall we? Little French number there. The French made probably most of the carriage clocks of the 19th and 20th century. Very good at it they were as well. Very fine movements, great timekeepers, great quality engineering. Also, I presume this comes up.
Yeah.
So that's... And this one comes up as well, so, yeah.
So it's like a display case.
Yeah, so well, you can see it in its case and see the time and keep out the sort of dust and air, and that's what we're trying to do, protect the movement, which is why the movement's all encased in its own airtight container. Well, it's lovely, it's got its original case and its original key, double-sided, one for the chime and one for the workings, so for the movement. Does it work?
Yeah.
It ticks along nicely?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can make you smile with out of here, shall we? I'm going to go 20, 40.
I'm not smiling.
I can see that. 60, 80, and that's got to get you smiling.
Not yet.
Just humming.
Yes. Not sure about that.
We'll go round it in at 100.
I think you could maybe do a little bit better because of all the things that you pointed out about having the case and the key.
But it is what it is. It's commercial, mass-produced. It's not any of the great makers. There's not even a maker's mark in it that I can see anywhere. So I'm going to stick with 100, but let's see what David has to say.
Well, I think what Tony says is right, but in some ways, when you think about it, if you were starting off and you were making your first purchase, you wouldn't be doing too badly if you bought this little carriage clock. The estimation in the sale room today is 100 to 150. And I would have thought it probably is worth 120, 130 quid in the sale room. It's probably worth another 20 quid. Now, in recent times, items like this haven't done well, but I think that is a clean, honest item, and people at the sale room, apart from the trade, retail people will recognise that and think, that's a clean little clock, and it's worth its money.
Thank you.
I'm going to go another 20 on that. It is absolutely a sweetie.
I think that's fair enough, to be honest. I think if you allow for the commission that you might get at the auction, then that's fair.
And hopefully I'll make a tenner.
Hopefully. But my mum will have to give me some commission, I think, for doing all this work for her.
Between you and your mum, my darling. I'm sure she will. No, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.
got what's roughly the figure that I'd like. Yeah, I hope my mum's going to be happy with it too. I want a cocktail out of it at least.
Cheers to that, Leslie. Next up, Don has done his homework and is hoping that Henry Nichols might be the right dealer to buy his Reproduction bronze horse.
Yeah, I've seen Henry on the programme previously, and he seems to be a very good dealer. He seems to give very fair prices, so I might have a chance of making a slight profit, maybe.
Henry likes the look of it, but will he be put off because it's a reproduction?
What an impressive piece we're looking at. It's decorative, it's a good subject. It's just a real shame that it's not right.
Watching on the sidelines to ensure fair play is the Duke and auctioneer Kevin Kendall.
What do you know about it?
Well, I've discovered it's not an original old bronze.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know much about it otherwise.
OK, well, you've hit the nail on the head, Don, to be honest.
Yeah.
As much as what we've got here is a really impressive piece of kit, it's got everything going for it. It's a polo subject, which is really popular. It is actually made of bronze. It's just a shame it is a reproduction. So the question is, where did you find such an impressive piece as this?
In a car boot sale.
A car boot?
Seriously.
I bet you thought you were onto a winner, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If it was the real McCoy, I'd be putting down bundles of money onto the table.
I understand.
But it's not. So I'm going to put some money out and see if I can tempt you. But bear in mind that we can buy this sort of thing still today.
Now, Kevin, when this first came through the door, from about 100 yards, I thought, oh, what have we got here? As I drew closer to it, it then was apparent that what we have got is a modern reproduction bronze, perhaps of an old subject matter. As it is, as a decorative item, how have you valued this?
I think I put about a 150 to 200 estimate, purely on its aesthetic value.
Okay. Well, I feel the same, and the independent valuers, they've said 150, 200 pounds. Let's see what Henry says about it. There's a lot there for your money.
So, Don, let's put some money on the table. 20. 40. Don't worry, there's more coming. 60. 80 pounds. That's a very definite, very disappointed looking Don.
That's a no.
That's a definite no.
Sorry.
OK. Let's go a little bit more. 100. How's that seem?
Keep going.
Keep going. I don't know, what does David think?
Well, Don, it's a difficult one. What we've got here is a fairly recent casting of a very dramatic, quite glamorous bronze. If this was a 19th century bronze by Bonheur or by one of the great Amulaire-type bronze producers, we would be talking thousands. But £100 still doesn't sound a lot of money for a large bronze. So I'm going to say it's probably worth a bit more than that. You know if it's near what you paid or if it's a lot less. So I'm going to leave you with Henry.
Thank you, David. So we're at £100. Am I far away?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, OK. But I'm going to see if I can tempt you a little bit more. 120. £140.
I'd like some more, please, Henry.
£140 is on the table, Kevin. No commission to pay. Can you do better in the sale room?
I think if I was the owner, I would actually be selling it now and cutting my losses.
OK. My advice would be the same. If he's paid more, maybe now's the time to get out of this object. Or, if he fancies a gamble, well, that's up to him.
To be honest, Don, I think that's where I want to be with it.
Yeah.
I think, for me, I've got to sell it on. David?
Henry's a very fair dealer. What did you pay for it? Can you declare? Because I have a feeling Henry isn't going to go much further anyway.
No, 200.
Okay.
200.
Fair enough. I think, first of all, you did exceptionally well to buy this for 200 in a resale situation because it is still quite an undertaking for that kind of money. Yeah. Our independent valuers say 150 to 200 pounds. If you go to auction, another person like yourself, Don, may say, that's a lot of bronze for the money, that is. I fancy a little dabble at that. So it may be worth a gamble to go to auction. There may be someone there that thinks, I can use that outside, or I don't mind it. It's a good visual object. So maybe someone will put down the extra money, but that's tempting.
So, Don, we've heard what David's got to say.
Yep.
The gamble is yours. I mean, I think I'm where I want to be. I don't think I want to give any more money for it.
I think I've got to take a gamble, really, and go to auction with it.
I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope you get back more than it actually cost you. I really do. Don, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's explained everything to me, and I can understand his reasons for the offer he's made on it. But I still think it's worth a bit more.
So Don's gambling on making his money back at auction, but has he made the right call?
We're creeping up to your £200 now.
Find out in a few minutes. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire. Before the break, Dom turned down Henry's offer of £140 for his bronze statue.
Don't think I want to give any more money for it.
I think I've got to take a gamble, really, and go to auction with it.
Dom's hoping he'll get back the £200 he paid. He's joined the Duke in the sale room where it's about to go under the gavel.
You sat down with our dealer on the dealer's day, Henry. He offered you 140, which would have shown you a loss. You decided against that.
To have a gamble.
Gambling here at the auction. Reserve is 150 quid. Is it going to make 150 or more? Let's find out.
So I will start the bidding with me at 150. 150 bid, 150, 160.
160, 170.
170, 170, 170, 80 anywhere. 170, 170 on commission only. Have you all done this time? Going to sell? 180.
180, just in time. We're creeping up to your £200 now.
190, 190, 190, 190. You're out behind the chair. I'm selling. Have you all done at 190?
It's just made 190, close to what you paid under the gavel, but when we deduct the commission, you're left with £155. You've got to go out now to that car boot sale, invest that £155 and try and get back your 200 quid.
Absolutely.
On the day, the real deal was 190, 155 to take home, real deal.